I've come down to Essex to meet a guy called Matt who's got this lovely old shed, and in this shed this is his own little world, his private little den, and every car that he's got talks to him about a bygone era that he's particularly fond of because it's nostalgic. And I think we all have this wonderful disease called nostalgia when it comes to stuff like cars, and Matt is no exception. But Matt also has fantastic car taste, so if you like your 80s, if you like your 90s, look no further. This is of course a Car Cave edition of the Late Break Show, and I'm Jonny Smith. I love sitting here on a moped, I've got to say, Matt, because this is how we sort of start a lot of our automotive interest, I think.
Absolutely.
It's usually on a moped.
Absolutely.
So your little shed, I mean, they're all under sheets right now, and we're going to get them out in a second. But so what's the relevance for you and this? How did this all start?
Not necessarily relevance, it's just probably the first bike I ever rode, probably, as a kid in Dubai.
Wow.
Growing up on a beach, more or less. Dubai was uncivilised then. It was just barren.
Yeah.
I never had a motorbike over there, but my friend's sister had one of these.
Did she?
Called Zoe. And I used to drive it at every opportunity I got.
How old were you? Like really young?
Yeah, probably 6 years old, 7 years old, something like that.
Wow. So you grew up travelling around, you were in the Arab Emirates?
Yeah, no, not travelling around. Grew up in Dubai from the age of 5 till 10, something like that, 4 till 10.
Yeah.
But Dubai was, it was a couple of buildings and a road. That was it. It wasn't like it is now.
Yeah. I remember when we had a chat on the phone, you said that you lived in Japan.
I'd spent 3 months a year there for 3 years, pre-COVID.
Okay.
Basically going to HSS auction every day.
Oh, really?
Which is massive and just absolutely full of JDM heaven.
Yeah.
I'm talking fields and fields of cars, acres and acres of everything you can imagine. Have you not been there?
No, I haven't.
Go.
Go. I've been warned that I will come away with something. So I'm right in thinking that growing up in Dubai, spending time in Japan has really shaped your interest in what you've got.
As a kid in Dubai, a lot of the Arabs, the young Arabs, were their cars are a Z series Datsun 240, 260, 280, or old Skylines, i.e. 110, 210, R30s, R31. So
interesting.
The Arab the young men Arabs, their cars are Z cars and Skylines, and that's what I grew up sort of thinking. I want one.
Well, on that note, I think we should unsheath all of your vehicles.
Unsheath whatever you want, John.
Although I do like sitting on the Tomos.
Tomos suits you, mate. You look cool on that.
So before we delve into your glorious array of cars, Matt, we have to talk about why these are here. Like, you talked about this being your first kind of experience on a bike.
Yeah.
The chopper, the BMX, what's the score?
This bike was bought from, I had a pub, and one of my friends, Roy, used to go to the bank on Monday mornings with the take-ins, and there wasn't a bus route there. So I bought him that from a guy in a couple of houses up from where the pub was. And he used to go to the bank on Mondays on that bike.
With the takings?
With the takings, yeah. This came up a few years ago and it was too pretty not to get.
Wow, I love a gold monkey.
My little grandson, James, come along. That was his bike.
Yeah. PW50.
The chopper I got I had a car sales place in Edmonton.
Yes.
And I seem to remember a guy part X this for a car that was 100 quid or something at the time.
Really?
Yeah, and that one there is my old BMX.
Really? So you've had that since you were...
Since I was probably 13 years old. It used to be pink.
Right.
And then another friend of mine who had a bike shop took it and restored it all for me. But he didn't do it pink. He done it back in black.
And that's why it's been sat...
It hasn't come out of the wrapping since he done it, yeah.
Oh my gosh. PW, that's the first motorbike I ever rode. A white one.
And
nearly went into your pond, Mrs. Taylor. Sorry about that. I was that close to going in the pond. Well, okay, let's talk cars. Okay, so the sheets are all off now.
Yeah.
So we can see this room at least.
The great unveil.
It's great. It's great. First, let's talk about this Datsun. You've got a couple of Datsuns here.
Yeah, we've got a few Datsuns.
Haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is glorious, Matt.
Thank you.
What's the score with this car?
Well, you said it's glorious. The credit don't go to me for that. This was built by the Z Farm.
Yeah.
But I got it off a friend of mine called Nick Wilson. Absolute. He's not an engineer, but he's phenomenal. He should have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, this come off him. He begrudgingly sold me it, but he knew it was going to a good home.
Yeah.
He comes and sees it whenever he wants. So that's how I got this one.
And is this standard spec?
Totally factory original, and knowing Nick, there's probably things on here that are better than factory.
Really?
Yeah, he knows his stuff, the guy.
Well, when we turned up, the bonnet was on the catch, and I did have a quick look, and it absolutely looks
Spotless.
spot on.
Yeah, and that's all down to Nick, not down to me.
Yeah.
You want to open it?
Yeah, I do actually. I'm really liking also the louvers.
Oh, brilliant. Japanese sort of think of everything, because these unscrew, open up so you can clean the window, and it's got like a little arm to keep it up for you.
Brilliant.
So it doesn't fall down and smash the window.
So brilliant.
Yeah.
Slot mags.
Mate, the wolf race.
Yeah, I love a wolf
And
race.
we got the original wheels and hubcaps for the car.
Oh, the steels and
The original steels and the actual hubcaps. So there's the hubcaps, if you can remember them.
Oh, they are so nice. They are lovely. There we go. Goodness, that's glorious, isn't it?
That really is well done, isn't it?
That is gorgeous.
I'm going to connect this battery up because there's a little touch there that I want you to see. See the little inspection light there? That should.
Well, look at that.
That says it all, doesn't it? That is attention to
That's
detail.
so nice.
But
This
yeah,
was a UK car?
UK car, yeah.
Wow.
100% UK car.
That's incredible.
Built by Z Farm. And
Well, you like it so much that you've got two.
oh yeah, absolutely. This one's, as you know, that one's totally standard factory. This one is totally unstandard.
This thing looks so sinister.
It's
Bumperless, that really hard front end.
It's aggressive.
So what's the score? I see the clip-on arches, I see the old Monaco Pro Cobras in here. What's...
Takata harnesses, Takata steering wheel.
Yeah.
This is basically an R33 Skyline,
Yeah.
shortened chassis, and this put on top of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's a... It's
Engine running gear, RB25.
Wow.
And it goes like the clappers. It really, really does.
Wow, so it's just a Z body on a Skyline.
Basically, slightly wider track, the rear axle. If you have a look at the...
Bloody hell, Matt. I didn't realise it was that much of a build.
Yeah, no, it's a mega, mega, mega build. And
And
you'll
did
see
you-
more under there in a minute.
You commissioned this?
Yeah, totally. I'll show you some pictures of before and after.
Yeah.
I picked this up from Gloucester, a mountainside in Gloucester.
Right.
Car was a heap of rust.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a look.
So did you have this vision then? You thought, I'm just going to do it.
I had a vision of building a bit of an old blister car.
So you were going to have like a rat rod type of thing?
Yeah, a bit of an old sort of stitched together old banger, just throw this on it, throw that on it, and then sort of strip the shell down and found the R33, and then one thing led to another. Hence you got that.
I can see, so it's this tube.
It's
tube chassis.
totally space framed all through.
Bloody hell, man.
Full roll cage inside. It's an absolute weapon and done to a very high standard.
Yeah. Do you build cars or do you have the vision and you find the right people to do it?
No, I farm the work out. I'm nowhere near skilled enough to do any of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get in my head what I want,
Yeah.
and then they times it by 10. I'll give them a budget, they times it by 10, and then somewhere we get somewhere in the end, you know?
So, like you say, factory standard Z, Hellraiser Z.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a bit of Wankle.
Yeah, why not?
See, I haven't seen one of these. That one came up at auction quite recently with Classic Car Auctions. I did a preview video on. Lots of people messaged me and went, "God, I haven't seen a convertible RX7 for ages." What's the score with this?
Nothing really. It's I think I was laying on holiday on a beach probably a couple of Christmases ago. Probably come across it on a auction website. I thought, well, that looks all right. Put a silly bid probably and probably won it. And then the next thing you know, you're getting an email, "Oh, you've won." I don't remember bidding on that.
Oh, really?
And then the next thing, you're sending a truck to go and collect it. I think this came from Brighton or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Done nothing to the car. It's as it is. Power hood, leather. It's even got cruise.
And it's a UK car?
UK car.
Wow,
UK
because
car.
I would have figured it was an import. But
No, definitely a UK car.
nice.
A little bit before their time, these. I think they're twin turbo. I think they've got a fairly decent horsepower. I can't remember exactly what. I think they're around the 300-400.
Yeah. So do you do a lot of holiday car buying?
Impulse buys.
Yeah.
Yeah, boredom buys.
That happens?
I think that happens more often than I want it to be honest with you. You're sort of laying on the beach a little bit bored and you're browsing through, I'll have a bid on that, half thinking you're not going to get it, and sometimes you do, you know.
Yeah. So this might not stay?
No, this is definitely going,
This is definitely going?
Well, as you know, we've got 2 units.
Yeah.
Rents for 2. I want to half everything, downsize with the cars and put all my favourites in 1 unit.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of money back from the cars, the excess cars, and stop paying 2 lots of rent every month.
Yeah, that's sensible.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
So you can consolidate. So you are an impulsive buyer.
Yeah.
And have you got hoarding tendencies?
No.
I have to ask, as someone that
I'm sure there is. As
I
you
can admit that I am.
Yeah, no, I think we're all in denial about that, aren't we?
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Merc. Okay, what's the deal with the SL then? This is a lovely car.
Great car.
Yeah.
Not something I sort of lusted after again. It just came about. I owned a gym in a sort of a tower block, if you like, and I shared the bottom floor with a car dealer, Austin Owen. Funny old guy, good friend actually. And this was sitting in his unit at the back of the car park there, and I said, "That's a pretty car, Ross." And he went, "Buy it, son." So I did.
Is that what he said?
That's it. So left-hand drive car. I used this car in Spain for a good few years, and brought it home a couple of years ago to have the roof fixed and some general sort of maintenance done.
Yeah.
I'll get it back down there soon, to be honest with you.
You were saying off camera about this particular Merc. Out of all the cars, this is the one that always has a note under the windscreen when you park it.
So, as I say, I have it in Spain quite often, and you go to a supermarket or go to a restaurant, whenever you come back to the car park, there's always a little note there. Do you want to sell this car? With a phone number.
Always?
Every time. Every single time.
Interesting, isn't it?
Unbelievable, yeah. But it looks really pretty in the sun with the roof off.
I like it.
I do as well.
But I have to admit, I don't like it as much as a pearl white Audi Quattro, because this is one of my absolute bucket list cars. You will have seen I did a barn find early Quattro on the Late Break Show a while ago, and I love them. I absolutely love them. So, yes, I've got a real thing for these.
Good.
I have in my hand a magazine from the 90s.
Wow.
June 97. So the reason why I've got this, from what I can gather, Matt, is that this is not, as it seems, this is not a standard car.
No, this is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah. This thing, this is a 10 valve Quattro. It started off as, and it got converted to a 20 valve. But if you look at the gear stick, there's 6 speeds on it. So the previous owner wanted a 6-speed gearbox, and this came out of an Audi S2, and then not just a 20 valve conversion, but a modified 20 valve. So that thing gives out
around 360, 380 horses.
360 horse. So this magazine was showing you all the things that's been done to it. It was back in 97, or just before it was featured, it had a bare metal strip and repaint in what I can only say is probably one of the coolest Audi Quattro colours. So how did you find this? What made you buy this?
I was, again, probably on holiday.
Right.
Bored on the beach or whatever, just with the iPad. And I was on I go on all sorts of weird and wonderful websites.
Yeah.
This come along.
Yeah.
I sent the guy an email, like he said, contact the seller.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, he replied to me. And then the car was in Southampton. So I went down there, had a meeting with the guy, started it up and done a deal there and then.
Really?
Yeah, and about 2 weeks later, I sent a truck to pick it up.
Goodness me.
And I really do like this car.
So what's interesting is this thing had the engine conversion at 38,000 miles, right? They managed to find a written off 39,000 mile 20 valve car as the donor. And then, like I said, that 6-speed gearbox came from an Audi S2, and they had to modify the transmission tunnel. They had to obviously modify the brakes.
Turbo ECU.
Yeah.
And I think this has only done 60,000 now. I think if you turn the key, it'll probably...
Oh, of course, it's digital dash.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll tell you.
We'll show that on camera, because being a later car, it's got the big digi dash.
It's above the visor.
Bloody thing looks mint. And the steering wheel, what's the deal?
Yeah, that's another story, John. As you probably know, it come with the original big bus-style steering wheel.
Yeah.
Ugly. And I know they done a Nardi steering wheel for it, and I had a little look just on the off chance, and I found one. And it was in Poland. So got in touch with the guy, and he sent it over.
So that's the original wheel over
Steering
there on the
wheel
wall.
hanging on the wall.
I did clock it when we came in this morning.
I'm sure you did. You don't miss a trick, do you?
No, I don't. Not with this stuff. Right, Skyline time.
Yeah.
You've obviously got a thing for Skylines because there's a few here.
Who hasn't?
Well, quite. What's the story with this one?
Again, no main story, just this is an R30, isn't it? The Iron Mask, as you pointed out.
Yeah,
This is a good model. It's the RSX twin cam turbo.
Yeah.
I was at an auction in Japan in, I think, 2017, and there was two of these there. There was one in front of this one and this one behind it.
Yeah.
The one in front was a slightly nicer car, if you like,
Yeah.
and I bid on it and didn't get it.
Right.
So we were driving back to the unit, and I said, get online, see if the one behind it had gone. And it was coming up. So we said, come on, let's do it. And I bid X amount and run it. And then the next thing, it was arriving at Southampton Docks 6 months later. And here it is, untouched. Still got
I was going to say, so you still haven't done anything with
I
it
haven't
yet?
touched it. So it's been sitting here, 5 years now.
Yeah.
6 years.
So what's your kind of like dream Skyline?
Probably the Hakasuka. It's got to be the first one. You know, it is the legend of them, isn't it? It's they're unbelievably expensive at the moment, but a real cool car.
So this is kind of like, this is your sort of Japanese hooligan car.
Yeah,
But I want to talk about the Escort because this is
it's your British hooligan car.
well, quite. Right, so one thing I didn't ask you at the beginning of this car cave, which I normally ask everybody, and I think I got distracted by the mopeds, was what was your first car?
Mark 1 Escort.
Right.
1300 GXL,
Nice.
2-door with a Webasto roof and a set of Revolutions.
Oh.
That are copy RS, if you like. That's what I thought it was.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Yeah, and I've just loved them ever since.
Right, so you've had a few Escorts before?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is I had a Mark 1 RS 2000, which I got rid of to buy this. I've also got another RS 2000 now, the white and blue one. I'll show you a picture of that.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it here today. It's at my friend's garage. It's not a total resto project, but I bought it in bits.
Yeah.
And we're just basically putting it back together and trying to source some more parts to build it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to town on it. Can't afford it.
No.
Absolutely not. So what's there is staying there, and anything we have to get, we'll get.
This thing, you were telling me that you've had this a long time.
30 odd years, this car.
Really?
Yeah,
That long?
Yeah.
Goodness, so this is a life for this car.
Well, I think my son's, he likes this one as well.
Does he?
Yeah, so if we could only ever keep one car, not that this is the best, but this would be the one that's got a little bit more sort of
Sentiment.
sentiment to it, exactly that.
So you've clearly rebuilt it. It's a real Mexico.
Yeah.
And you were pointing at the stripes before because I hadn't clocked that. Of course, it's a Mexico, but it doesn't have the high Mexico stripes.
I don't like Mexico stripes.
Don't you?
This is a Mexico with RS 2000 stripes, and they're painted in. It's not. They're not stickers.
Wow.
So it's paint
Okay.
and then lacquered over. And but a lot of people put the stickers on.
Yeah.
And then lacquer over that. No, these are painted on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the car. It's got the YB Cosy engine, 5-speed Cosy gearbox.
I noticed the gear knob, so it's got a Cosworth engine.
Engine and gearbox, yeah.
Bloody hell.
So
When did you put that in? Like years ago?
yeah, 30 odd years ago.
Bloody hell. So you said you've restored it at least once.
Yeah, at least once, yeah. It was done very recently. The last time I'd done this would have been probably 5 years ago.
Okay.
And it had been sitting in here for 10 years prior to that. Didn't really need it, but it was just getting a little bit, just little bits here and there. So we took it up to the guys. I said, look, you got it there, just go to town. And they did.
Well, without wanting to sound cliche, we are in Essex.
Oh, cheers, John. Yeah, no, Essex boy without an RS ain't an Essex boy, is it?
So we're going to go from the Mark 1 Escort, we're going back into the world of JDM, because this is your earliest Skyline. 240k.
GT, 240k GT.
GT. Now, I think this wins just on the basis of its mirrors. It has the coolest looking wing mirrors. Absolutely love them.
Yeah, and they are wing mirrors, because now wing mirrors are door mirrors, aren't
they? That's right. This is wing mirror territory.
Yeah.
So what's the story with this? Because, I mean, you said earlier about your Hakasuka, that would be your...
Ultimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
2 models up from that.
Yeah.
So you've got the Hakasuka, which is the first of them.
Yeah.
Then you've got the 110, which is a Ken Mary.
Yes.
And then you've got this, the 210, which is the 240k GT.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this car. Great car. It's the second one I've had, believe it or not.
Is it?
Yeah. As a sort of 20-year-old young man, I swapped a 3-litre Capri for one of these.
Did you?
A UK car.
Wow.
Drove it for a few months. A couple of my friends had 325s, this, that and the other. And I used to beat them in this old thing, like a bucket of shit.
Yeah.
I used to beat them. They go, what is that? What is that?
Yeah.
None of them knew, but I did.
Yeah.
And anyway, so that car, I loved it. And the handbrake went. So I used to have to park it around the corner from my house against a tree at the top of the hill to stop it rolling away.
Yeah.
Basically what happened, they were redoing the road, resurfacing it, and they left a sticker on the windscreen saying, if this car's not moved in the next few days, we're going to have no choice but to take it away. I don't think I saw the sticker, or what didn't go round there for a couple of days, and then it was gone. I didn't even bother chasing it.
It got taken?
Yeah.
And this is when they weren't worth anything?
Yeah. And this is when no one knew what they was.
No, and that, again, same model?
Exact same car, 240k GT, it was a V-Reg.
Wow.
In black, which is, again, it was just, to have 2 of these in your life in the UK, is, to have 1 is rare, but to have 2 is...
Yeah.
Yeah, and right-hand drive as well, you know?
Yeah. So this one's obviously been modified here and there?
Yeah, just sort of rebuilt and sort of some better parts on them rather than putting original back on.
Yeah. So you've got the harnesses and the seats inside. You've got the wheels.
What are they called? Wannabes?
Watanabes?
Watanabes, yeah.
I mean, I think it looks ace.
It does. It's a great car.
So did you have it rebuilt, or did you buy it like this?
No, it was, again, a friend of mine. He was halfway through building it.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what happened, but I think he might have lost interest or whatever else. And I said, I'll have it. And then I just finished it off. And like I said, done the interior, rebuilt the engine. The car was painted. It was a painted
rolling shell.
Rolling shell with all the repairs done, all structurally sound.
Yeah.
And I just finished it off, and I've had the pleasure of keeping it.
How good does it look? We both agreed the back end of this.
Oh.
Those tail lights.
Hob lights.
The hobs.
Just perfect. And a lot of Japanese guys turn their 240Zs to the rear lights of these now, because it's like a nostalgic thing. Right. And even the GTRs, the R35, has still got them lights on it.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, that is the iconic...
The R34's got them as well. So
yeah.
That is Skyline, basically.
Yeah. So we're going from late 70s to late 80s?
Mid-80s, yeah. This is like the sort of, I think it was known as the Cosy Killer, wasn't it?
Yeah. So this is an R31?
R31 GTSR.
GTSR. So, I mean, this in Nissan Skyline circles is a pretty rare thing.
This is what started the GTR craze, if you like. Yeah. This is the one. This is it. This is what this entered touring cars in the mid-80s.
Yes.
I think there's about 80 of these left, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, a guy I know who's a bit of an encyclopedia on the Skylines, GTRs. GTR Heritage is the company.
Yeah.
He's actually done a piece on this car. I think he'd done a bit of research and said there was about 80 left in the world.
Bloody hell.
On paper. How many of them are still in existence, he doesn't know. So it's getting rarer by the year.
So how did you find this car then?
Japan.
Oh, you brought it over?
Where that one came from.
Okay.
Walking around, saw it, thought, I've got to have a go at that.
Yeah.
And did. Again, won the bid. And the next thing shipped over here and shipped up to GTR Heritage and done what they had to do.
So has this been restored?
Yeah, sympathetically. But down to metal,
Okay.
but a sympathetic restoration.
Yeah.
So
It's so nice. I wish you could stand here and admire it, because it, like you were saying, this is a very boxy Skyline model and probably lives in the shadows of the R32, actually.
yeah.
But you haven't got an R32. You're clearly you're an earlier Skyline guy.
The R32 is my favourite Skyline.
Oh, okay.
It is my favourite by far, even above the 34.
Yeah.
Now the 34 is phenomenally expensive.
Yes.
And a great, great car. But for me, the R32 is the one. I had one, a V-Spec 2,
Yeah.
and sold it in about 2018.
Did you?
In the sort of subconscious thought that I'll be going back to Japan next year, I'll get another one.
Yeah.
Never happened.
And then COVID came along.
Then COVID came along. So yeah, I've had a 32, which is my favourite, but this is a more sought after car.
Yeah. Out of your Datsuns and Nissans, which is the one that you own that you go, that's the one?
I suppose for value wise and rarity, it's got to be this.
Yeah.
But my favourite is that.
Is this?
Yeah.
What a pair.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, just look at these two. I think most people watching this would be like, I would kill to have these.
Well, it's a shame the R31 ain't in between them, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're in your second cave.
Yeah.
This is your sort of overspill
Yeah.
area.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a few bits which we'll show you over there, some cool parts and bits. But so this is your only BMW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, you're right. You're
And it
absolutely
looks
right.
like a proper bruiser. What's the story?
The story is that I probably can't afford the one I want, the E30 M3, so this will have to do.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's it. I would love an E30. One come along, I'll try my best to buy it. Absolutely love the cars.
Yeah.
But this is, yeah.
Did you build this?
No, I bought this done. Car trader I know in Bristol.
Yeah.
He had it on his site for quite a long time, no bites. It was up at X amount and I offered him Y amount. He said, come and get it. It was actually green.
Okay.
The car was, I think this car was known as the Hulk on the YouTube or something. If you look inside the door shuts, you can see the old colour it was.
Oh yeah, it's bright green.
The whole car was that colour, and
Yeah.
it's a drift car.
Right.
So it's got the straight diff or whatever it is, the Rocket Bunny kit.
Arch kit. I like the
I
arches.
love it. I absolutely love it, and it's got the 330 straight six engine,
Okay.
and it goes really, really well. It's maps as well, obviously.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
no, great fun car. Just literally sideways car.
So is this a vinyl wrap, or
This is a vinyl wrap.
Is it? Okay, so it can go back to green whenever.
Yeah, I don't want it to go back to green.
No, no.
At all.
Yeah.
So it was a car that I didn't really look for. It was available, so I just bought it, and it was actually not very nice looking. But I think with what we've done to it, for
it looks-
pennies, makes it look a lot better than it did.
It looks hard.
Yeah, it's just got
looks
quite a
really
good look
hard.
now, isn't it? To be honest with you,
Yeah. It's caught you staring at the Mini.
I forgot I had it.
Really?
Oh, you just pulled the cover off, and so that car sits there all the time under a cover because it's tucked away a bit. I kind of sort of forget about it.
Yeah.
Now you've pulled the cover off, I've realised how much I actually like it. Great little car. So yeah, I think it's a pretty standard car with the bucket seats, as we said, the wheels and the Jan speed exhaust. I think that's it.
Right, right. No, it looks cool.
I love it.
It looks cool.
Absolutely love it.
But the Benz, this is the most modern car that you've got in the cave, isn't it?
Yeah, and I didn't really sort of want it. It wasn't something I searched for. It was, I think it was another lockdown buy.
Was it?
I think I was on the internet.
This man's a chaser, I can tell. It's all about the thrill of the chase.
Yeah, but I've got nothing in particular that I'm trying to chase. I see something, I think I might go for that, and then I try and chase it.
Yeah.
I haven't got like a prior knowledge of what I want.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
this was on, I don't know, one of the websites I look on,
Yeah.
and it looked pretty. And I read the caption, and it turned out it was an F1 edition SL55.
Right.
I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
So I Googled it, and it turned out that they'd done they were a pace car at the Nürburgring or whatever the German track is.
Yeah.
And they got slight different upgrades to the standard SL55.
Yeah.
And I think the upgrades are a slightly different bumper with air intakes to cool the brakes.
Right.
And I think they've got a few more horsepower. Other than that, I don't know nothing else, John. Definitely.
And then so we've gone a kind of 80s BMW, we've gone post-millennium Merc. We're going back to the 80s back here.
Oh, God.
So this car's really interesting for me. Of course, it's an Audi Quattro, and they interest me anyway. But this one here has been around you for a long time, hasn't
Yeah,
it? Indirectly.
years, since I was a kid. Well, say a kid, a young teenager.
Yeah.
Probably about 16 years old. A friend of mine had this car, Steve. He's a few years older than me, so when I was 16, he was 20, whatever. I used to drive around, in the passenger seat and just, I want that car, I want that car.
Wow.
And about probably 30 years ago, he parked it up.
Really,
And
that
it
long?
sat outside his house for at least 25 years, at least 25 years. And for the last 10 years, I've been saying to him, Steve, sell me your car, sell me your car. No, I'm going to fix it. Well, he never did.
Yeah, yeah.
About 4 or 5 years ago, I was driving past his house in an empty recovery truck. And I phoned him and said, Steve, we're going to pick your car up. And he went, I don't want to restore it. I said, well, what we do, I'll take it, I'll restore it. You don't pay nothing. When it's done, if you don't want to pay the cost price,
Yeah.
I'll keep it and I'll give you a little bit on top. As soon as he saw it, he was like, oh, I want my car. I want it. So, unfortunately, I haven't got to keep it. It's a friend's car, but he's got his car back.
Yeah.
And we've saved another one. So
you've basically recommissioned it, have you?
yeah, for him, because he would never have done it. And it'd have ended up being a pile of rust, unrecommissionable.
So you said it was under a cover, and we've got some pictures of it. But you haven't painted it.
No.
I can't believe, I mean, there's a scab on the edge of the bonnet there, and there's a few little marks on it, but considering it's been outside under a tarpaulin.
The car was pink, faded, fungus in the corners here, this, that and the other.
Yeah.
But I knew if the price was too much, he would never have paid it.
Yeah.
Because he didn't really, it was against his will to do it within reason.
Yeah, yeah.
So a paint job is probably £10,000.
Yeah.
So whatever the price was to recommission this, if you
Yeah.
put 10 grand on top of that, it makes it quite expensive.
It does. It
So
does.
I've got some bits and pieces in there. I'm all right with a mop and some cutting polish and this, that and the other. So I give it a heavy cut, a medium cut, then a fine cut,
Yeah.
nibbed a few bits off here and there. And got the paint. This has been sitting like this in here for more than a year now.
Has it?
When I actually originally done it, it was as if I wanted to, I could have said, Steve, I've had it painted, and he would have believed me.
Wow.
I'll show you some pictures. So yeah, the paint looks great. It was a lot better a year ago, but another polish it'd be fine against.
And the tax disc says 1999. Do you think that's when he
the last
last
time it
used
was on the road. I know that it was. It's not I think, I know.
Bloody hell.
I'm still in touch with the guy every day.
So he is going to buy it back off you, as it were, or
No, he's paid for it. He's paid for the restoration, the cost of putting it back on the roads. It was, I think, brakes all round, fuel lines, injection rebuild.
yeah.
Just odds and sods, just a very sympathetic restoration to get it running and driving and
love that.
MOT'd, and it is.
I'm so pleased you have pretty much saved it.
So is he. So is he.
And you've rejuvenated his passion in it.
Yeah, he absolutely. When he see it the first time, he was over the moon.
Was he?
Yeah.
Now this is a really recognisable car, but I don't think that many people know about these. These are not on a lot of radars.
Not really. No, there wasn't that many of them about, was there? They're a great car in their day. I think they was about 170 odd horsepower standard.
Yeah.
The turbo model. So for its day, it was pretty good. But great looking car. Great looking car.
They live in the shadow of the RX7, and they look like an RX7.
Yeah.
But the Mitsubishi Starion turbo.
But I also think it's got a little bit of Toyota AE86 Corolla twin cam. A more modern version of that, if you like.
Yeah. Which you have said to me off camera.
Oh, I want one.
He wants one.
I want one.
Because the thing is, whenever I meet people who have these car cave collections, there's always something that they're looking at next.
Yeah.
Or one comes and goes, and what replaces
I've
it.
neve actually had one, but I do want one. I've been looking for a little while, but they're too much money.
I know.
They are crazy, crazy money.
Yeah. I know of a really rotten one in a barn that I haven't filmed yet for a certain barn find series.
Okay. Well,
I will keep you posted.
yeah, please do. Please do.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Just remember, I've got no money, so it's got to be very cheap. All right.
So what's the story? Is this a British car?
UK car. A guy I not really do a lot with, but I've bought a couple of bits off him. He's up in the Black Country there, and he advertised it, and I saw it, and I phoned him. I said, "Is this your car?" He went, "Yeah." So I said, "I'm going to drive up and have a look at it."
Yeah.
I did, and didn't hit him low, but hit him a little bit less than he wanted, and he took it.
I love the car dealing chat. It's great.
It's not even car dealing, is it? It's life. You know, you want to get into, you buy a house, you want to get it as cheap as you can. You buy a watch, you want it as cheap as you can. You know.
Yeah.
But so I gave him a fairly decent price for it, but the whole front valance was rotting, and to find spares for this is crazy. Luckily enough, I've got a friend in America, and as you mentioned, Dodge do this car under a different badge.
They did do it under a different badge, and now that we're filming, I've totally forgotten the name of that car. I will put it on the screen, but it's so they share a lot of the bodywork.
Yeah, well, it's the same car. It's the identical car, except for the badges. But, so I got one from a braking car over there and got the whole front slam panel and valance, and the guy up the road here welded it all in for me, so I got away with it.
You did get away with it. Yeah.
But the guy that sold me it, I reckon he knew.
Do you?
Yeah. Thanks.
I've just noticed these have almost identical arches.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's
very,
that era
very,
though, isn't it?
Very, very similar, excuse me.
That sort of banana bow there with the ledge.
Looking down, it is
really, really similar.
It is the same thickness and everything, isn't it?
You've got a thing for box arches looking at your garage.
Possibly, yeah. I've got a thing for cars, John, like yourself, you know.
Yeah.
It's doesn't have to have box arches.
No.
I like bubble arches, I like flared arches, you know.
Well, thanks ever so much for letting me come and look at your two sheds. Really, I like your car taste and your motorbike taste. Let's not forget the Hondas and the Tomoses. If you've got a garage that you think would be interesting to film on the Late Break Show, why don't you get in touch with us? There's an email address in the description. Send us some pictures and some details, and maybe I will come and snoop around your shed soon. And thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you, John.
All right. Oh, and like and subscribe, please. And maybe tell me, what is your favourite car that Matt owns? Write in the comments below.
And tell him how much you want to pay for it.